Hello and welcome to Sacral Chakra Yoga. I'm Trinity Wave. The sacral chakra, Svaditsana chakra, is connected to the reproductive organs and the water element. I have created this yoga sequence with some hip openers and flowy movements to help activate and balance this creative center in the body. Just a reminder that the poses I direct during this class are just a suggestion. Please listen to one's own body and find out what feels good for your body today. And remember, child's pose is always available if one needs to rest or recover during this practice. Please bring a yoga mat for this class. And today's class is starting out in the seated position. So when you're ready, I invite you to join me on your yoga mat seated. So joining me in the seated position in Dhyana Mudra, interlacing the fingers, cupping the hands, thumb pads touching above cupped hands. Beginning to breathe here. Feeling the sit bones ground down towards the earth. Breathing through the nose if possible. Expand on the inhale and contract on the exhale. Filling the lower belly on the inhale. Exhale, release. Continuing like this. Feeling this motion like a wave in the ocean. Maybe the breath can sound like the ocean here. Slowly beginning to blink the eyes open, rubbing the fingers together, returning to a natural breath, and slowly beginning to transition into tabletop pose. To begin the movement portion of this class, please watch for the demo for the next move. This is Chakravasana. And when you're ready, let's do this together. From tabletop, rounding to cat. Hips drop back for child's pose, arching through cow. Cat. Child's pose, arching through cow. Doing this again, but staying in child's pose for an extra breath. Coming back to tabletop, you can watch for the next variation here. This is a dynamic crescent lunge. First variation is hands to the low back, small back bend back, exhale, hips straighten and bow. More advanced is hands overhead, opening the chest, exhale, straighten and bow. So let's do this together, bringing the left foot up near the hands, coming to a low lunge. Hand comes behind the back, small back bend. Exhale, hands to hips, straighten and bow. You can either do this again, or if you want to come to the hands overhead version for more advanced. Straighten and bow. And doing that again with the breath. Opening the chest, straighten and bow. Bend into the front knee, hands frame the front foot. Coming back to tabletop, coming back to that Chakravasana series. Doing this a few times with your breath. Coming back to tabletop, this time looking over the left and right shoulders. Keep breathing. Inhaling over the left, look towards the left foot. Exhale, looking over the right shoulder towards the right foot. And then coming back to center, doing a cat-cow compass so you can watch first. So now I invite us to do this together. Looking over the left shoulder, exhale, round, right shoulder, dropping the belly. And here doing this a few times, rounding this motion out. So head and hips moving simultaneously here. And then going in the other direction, breathing. And then coming back to tabletop. Knee down plank to knees, chest, chin. Sliding through to baby cobra. Inhaling. Exhale, lower. Inhaling. Trying to lift the knees off the mat if possible. Exhale, lower. And then inhale, lifting up a little bit higher if you can. And making your way back to child's pose. Taking a few breaths here. From here, making your way back to tabletop, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, down dog. Keeping a slight bend in the elbows, slight bend in the knees. Pressing through all 10 fingers. Relaxing the back of the neck. And from here, bringing the right foot forward, back knee comes down for a dynamic crescent stretch on this side. So remember, low lunge, small back bend. Exhale, hands to hips, straighten and bow. Option to do the crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to hips, straighten and bow. Breathing, flowing with the breath. Hands come down to frame the foot. And then moving back to tabletop. Going back to that Chakravasana. So rounding to cat. Exhale, child's pose. Arching through cow. Flowing with your breath here. Coming back to tabletop. And you can watch for the next move here. This is a down dog wave. This is optional. You can either come to down dog and stay here, or if you'd like, you can flow with this. So now I invite us to do this together. We're rounding through the upper back to come towards plank, bending the knees, lifting the booty up, flowing with the breath here. Thinking about the wave and the ocean here. And then coming back to down dog, coming back to stillness. And then begin to walk the feet slowly back towards the hands, forward fold. Rounding all the way up, palms to touch overhead, coming back to mountain pose, your hands at prayer. And I'm going to step to the wide angle of the mat. You can watch for the next move here. So this next move is a wide angle side lunge with arm waves. So now I invite us to do this together. So here, bring the feet 3 to 5 feet apart, slight bend in the knees, hands on the hips. Then we'll bend into one knee and then the other, breathing here, and then bringing the arms out to flow here with the movement. Maybe thinking about the arms as kelp in the ocean. And then coming back to stillness, hands at hips. You can watch for the next move here. This is a pelvic rock in the goddess position. Bring the toes out towards the corners of the mat, bending into the goddess pose and rocking the pelvis forward and back a few times. Lifting the arms overhead, straightening the legs. Hands can come to the hips to watch for the next move here. Lifting the hips from side to side. And here you can join me if you like, bending into the goddess, lifting one hip and then the other. Lifting the arms up, straightening the legs. And you can watch for the next move here. This is an Omi in the goddess position. So now I invite us to do this together. Bending into the goddess pose, bringing the hips forward, side, back, side. Drawing a few circles in each direction. Lifting the hands up, overhead, palms to touch. Exhale, slight bend in the knees to come to wide angle forward fold. Breathing here. And here, bringing the hands towards one leg. Breathing. And then bringing the hands towards the other leg. Bringing the hands down to frame one foot to make your way down, hips down to mermaid pose to watch for the next move. So this next move is a hip circle. So let's try this together. So from tabletop, bringing the hands one hand length out in front, bringing the hips to the left, back, right, and forward. Drawing nice juicy circles here. And then we'll go in the other direction. So going right, back, left, and forward. Smoothing this motion out. And then coming back to tabletop. Bringing the knees down to one side, both hips come down. Making your way to Baddha Konasana pose, trying to find the balance of the feet here. So not too close and not too far, where one can stay and breathe and feel the stretch. So soles of the feet are together. So if you can reach the ankles, the hands can come to the ankles. Breathing here. So here I invite one to stay here while I show the next move. This move is a bridge wave with a pelvic rock. So let's try this together. Bringing the soles of the feet down, coming to the long side of the mat, coming onto the back, fingertips tracing the heels. We'll start with a little pelvic lift, so just lifting the low back off the mat just about an inch, and then pressing that low back into the earth. Lifting the hips up, and slowly lowering down. Doing that again. Slight lift off the ground with the low back, pressing the low back into the earth. Inhale to lift, and slowly lowering down. Tuck the pelvis, lifting the hips up, bridge wave. So the next move is legs up to the sky here. So hands are down by the sides, lifting the legs up, toes pointed towards the sky. Trying to bring the feet over the hips here. And here one can flex and point the feet. Flex and point. Flex and point. Keep breathing. Hugging the knees into the chest now. And here, if you'd like, you can begin to rock from side to side. And just a note here, if women are wanting to have a baby, this move may help. And here moving into windshield wipers, so cactusing the arms, feet come about mat's distance apart, bringing the hips 1 inch to the left, dropping the knees to the right, and breathe. Bringing the knees back up to center, bringing the hips 1 inch to the right, dropping the knees to the left, and breathe. And doing that again to each side if you like. Keep breathing. So here, coming to the last pose of this class, temples in the sand, feet mat's distance apart. So knees can come together. And here I invite you to bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, inviting some softness into the being, softening the jaw, softening the eyelids, softening the muscles of the face and the scalp, softening the chest, softening the belly, allowing the tailbone to be heavy and sink down towards the earth. Letting go of anything that's not in this moment. Beautiful. And if you'd like, you can bring the arms overhead, hugging the knees into the chest, making your way to seated. And I invite you to come back to that Dhyana mudra that I shared at the beginning of class. Interlacing the fingers, cupping the hands, thumb pads touching. Breathing into the low belly here. Inhaling and exhaling, like waves in the ocean, washing onto the beach. Exhaling, letting go of any old energies that you don't want to bring with you after this practice. Inhaling what new energy you are calling in. And allowing the breath to move like the ocean. To rejuvenate your creative center. Thank you so much for joining me for this Sacral Chakra Yoga today. I'm sending you so much love and so much light. And as always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye. Carry us away with your kiss. Carry us into a new day.